Today on Truck U, it's all about the great mud debate. We've got this new LJ we're going to do some performance goodies on and some other cool styling options as well. Now, Matt thinks it's a good idea to put it through the mud at the end of the day, and I think it belongs at the mall more than the mud. But the last time we went to the mall, things got out of hand quick. Hey, welcome to Truck U. Today we've got this clean-looking 2019 bone stock Jeep JL. I mean, this thing's a nice cruiser, man. It's like every high school parking lot in suburbia, there's one of these or dozens of these lined up in a row because you need to be trail rated when you go to school, right?
Yeah, the best thing about these is when you see them up on the 35s and the 37s and they got the jacks bolted to the side, they're snorkeled, and you know that thing's never going off the road.
You mean that 1,000-pound winch on the front, that's not getting used every day?
So that's where today comes in with my idea, right? I'm thinking with this particular one, I know you probably want to go performance, and that's cool. But let's show off a little bit. Let's have fun. Let's lift this thing up and make a big mud Jeep out of it.
You know, right? I say we put a big blower on it and be able to smoke all four wheels and four low. What do you think?
I'm okay with that, but you could put the blower in it with the big tires, and we could really have a good one out in the mud.
No, see, that's where the mud thing. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Then you got to clean it. I mean, it looks all nice and shiny, but why beat it up and destroy a high-dollar vehicle? Because I joke around about being in high school, and a kid's truck. These things are expensive these days, man.
I'm glad you asked that question. Now, some of you might be able to relate to this. As dudes, sometimes we like to make bad decisions to show off to our buddies, right? Allow me, if you will. So the first thing you got to do is you got to have the right shirt, right?
Yeah.
You mud bro? Here.
What do you got there?
Boom. That's for you, right?
This is an adult shirt?
I don't own adult size shirts.
This is your shirt?
Yeah, okay. It was. I'm giving it to you.
I'll give it a whirl.
You could wear this one too. Like when you do something really, just squeeze it in. When you do something really good.
Can you help me pull this on? How do you wear something like this?
But it looks great.
Yeah, it feels good too.
So then you come out of the mud bog after you did something cool, right? And you're wearing your no autographs please shirt, all right? You can keep that too.
Keep that,
now,
okay.
Here's the other thing. If you're rolling around, now your buddies are up on the shore and you're running, right? And you're just killing it out there. You put on your foam finger, dude, and you hold this out and you're like, yeah, you're like, suckers, I'm out here showing up. Every chick
and
on
then
the
you
side,
take all the pictures for social media. That's what it's all about.
That is it, dude.
Right?
Yeah. There's one more thing though, right?
What's that?
You get some of this money.
Oh, a little
right?
Skrilla.
Yeah. Now, this is all plant-based, so when you make it rain on the ground, it'll all go into the soil. Nice. It doesn't hurt anything, right? But you hold this out, too, and your buddy's like, yeah, Bruno, you're the king of the mud hole, and you just make it rain on them right there. And you pull out, you're in your Mud Bro shirt. That is bad decision-making at its finest, and that's showing off, my friend.
It really is.
You're a winner.
And you know what? You're selling it pretty hard. I'm not quite there yet, and I might need help getting this shirt off. But I say, let's take a step back, and we'll start doing some mods and kind of see where it goes.
I think the shirt looks good on you.
You think so?
Yeah. The halter tops are nice.
These are nice these days. They're big sellers with the kids. So let's start with a little bit of a performance upgrade. And the way we're going to give this Jeep a little more get up and go is by installing a Livernois Motorsports and Engineering My Calibrator Tuner Kit.
Now, this is a bundle, so you get a couple things with it, right? You get the tuner, you get the programming bypass cable, and the PCM unlock. And what the PCM unlock is the fact that you can't just get into the PCM on these new Chryslers and start, changing everything.
Right.
It's actually probably good for most people, right? But you'll actually pull that out, send that to Livernois, they unlock it, they send it back to you, and once you get it back, then you can start doing all your calibrations.
And having a little fun, you know what I mean? You'll take a Jeep like this that horsepower ratings aren't off the charts, let's be honest. You add 40 horsepower on, 93 octane gas, that's a substantial gain. And your guy running E85 on one of these things, you're up to 60. It's not just about the horsepower numbers too, it's about getting the engine to run more efficiently, which means you're gonna save money at the pump each and every time, so you'll get better fuel economy. The other thing too is nice is the fact it'll calibrate for stuff, so you can take into consideration bigger wheels and tires, so your speedometer is gonna work, so everything will kind of get back to where it needs to be, and you can have some fun with your Jeep.
Absolutely.
So I say we get this thing hooked up, and we'll kind of go through the demo mode and show you guys some of the stuff you can monitor and do with it. Installing the tuner is actually pretty straightforward. You have to make a connection to the OBD2 port as well as the green junction box on the passenger side, which is behind the glove box. Now, making that connection, you can't go behind here and run it through the back side because it gets blocked off. And we want to make it look like it was from the factory and OEM. So what we did was actually pop off this front panel here with these switches, run it across there and make your connection. This way it's hidden away and it looks like it's part of, the purchase you made from Jeep. Now, what's nice too about this program itself is it's compact in size. It kind of hides away, but gives you full functionality. You can plug this thing in, you turn on the ignition to it to connect to the vehicle. And then you can do all the kind of diagnostics. You can clear codes and check for codes that you might have, all the different diagnostic stuff. And here's where you can go ahead and adjust your tire size to the vehicle as well as your gearing. And you've got the data logging options, which are always nice, as well as your gauge pack you can hit. So you can fully customize it and monitor everything you want in real time or data log stuff. So if you've got a problem, you can look back and see, okay, EGT's got high or the engine speed was a little bit at the rev limit. You can do some fine tuning and look back and have some little data as to where and why and how. So now it's just simply a matter of taking the PCM out, getting over to Illinois, getting them to unlock it for us.
One bolt, and then we'll slide it off that stud on the bottom. And the PCU is out. Now, this is what we'll drop in the mail. We'll send it back to Illinois. They can unlock it, and they'll send it back to us. Now, the good news is, while we're waiting on that, we've got plenty of other things to do to this Jeep, so it's not going to hold us up at all. And we'll get started on all of those things right after this break. Cool.
This old rusted truck needs some help to come apart, and we don't just want to force and strip out all these old nuts. We just hit them with a little Z-Max multi-use lube. This low-odor formula lubricates into the metal and helps break this corrosion free. Z-Max is a company that treats metal and not only inside your engine with their micro-lubricant, but on the outside too. This no-drip formula will go where it's supposed to and will help rust from forming in the future. Also, grab a bottle of Z-Max's all-purpose degreaser to get rid of all that unwanted oil from leaks and other dirt and grime. Z-Max's full line of aerosol sprays are 50 state legal and can be used on almost every part of your truck. This tip is brought to you by Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Performance you can feel.
So one of the things that we want to do is kind of dress up the look on the front end of this Jeep. And I want to start back here because my masterpiece is complete on this engine cover. I do like that, you know, but I want to kind of extend that look out here, but I want you to do it.
Now I see why you had me take that grill out. It's all starting to make sense.
Yes, exactly.
The opportunity for me to flap my wings a little bit, right?
Spread your wings artistically, dude.
I like that.
So the grill coming apart takes about 10 minutes. It's nice and easy. And one of the cool things is, by the time you get, whatever, 80 or 90 clips off of it.
Yeah, I mean, I lost half of them, but we'll be fine.
I'll go to the store and get some more. But it comes apart in sections. So there's really, as far as the prep goes, there's no taping off because you can paint this section. If you wanted to go one color here and on these little inset pieces, you could do another one. You don't even tape that off either because it just covers it up. Look at that.
The prep work is everything, and to remove half the steps, it makes it just that much easier. So to be able to get them all out, all we have to do now is clean it up, and we can hit it with VHT's high-temperature plastic paint. Now, the whole idea is we want it to look good over a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a high-temp environment where you've got, this now getting hit by the double whammy, so to speak, right? You got engine temp on one side, you got sun on the other, so you want to make sure it doesn't peel or flake off.
Yeah, you got bugs and stuff, and probably going to be some mud flying in there too. But the first thing we need to do...
Yeah, let's just worry about the temperature from now.
Well, let's
right?
get it clean first, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll clean it up and I'll get to work. Why don't you give me my room, my space to kind of fly away?
Dude, I got the...
By you flying away.
To the store to go get more clips.
Yes, absolutely.
Hercules,
You read my mind.
You don't have to like grunt when you're taking the clips off, right?
So the first thing we did was apply VHT's multi-purpose foaming prep cleaner. It's specifically formulated to remove oil, wax, grease, as well as any other contaminants from the surface. The foaming action makes applying the cleaner really easy to do and doesn't affect primed or painted surfaces. It's going to give you a dust-free environment to apply your paint to. So then we'll apply VHT's high-temperature plastic paint. We're using the color red, and what you want to do is use 3 different coats. The first one being a light coat followed by multiple medium wet coats to make sure you have full coverage. The thing is, you want to get all the coats on within an hour. Matt, when you brought me back 24 of those new clips, I thought it might be a little excessive, but I seem to have used every single one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Watch
I'm
this.
nervous.
This is called The Student Becoming the Master.
Oh, jeez. With a broken grill. Wow.
Look at that.
That actually looks really nice.
You sound surprised.
No, I'm not surprised, but I am a little. But no, it does. That looks really good, dude. Nice job.
Yeah.
You know, it's so good. not having to tape anything off because like the trimming is perfect.
It makes life so much easier.
Really good. All right,
All right,
cool.
so let's pop
and you
this
got it
thing
all back
on.
together.
Man.
Yep.
All right, pop it back on, and then it's time to do, what else are we going to put some windshield wipers or something on this thing?
No, we got a little bit more to do. You know what? All right, so we'll get this back on. Once we get this back in place, we need to take it over to the lift.
Okay.
You know why? Because
No.
it's going up. I'm going to get you ready to take it in the mud, dude. All right?
Now, I know what you're thinking. The front of this Jeep looks tight with that grill on there, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. But the bumper's got to go.
Bumper definitely has to go. It doesn't fit the motif, what we're going for from an aesthetic standpoint, as well as when you put big wheels and tires, it's just going to get in the way.
Well, if you weren't going to do anything at all to the Jeep, and you were just going to leave it like it comes from the factory, it'd be fine, right?
Right, but
if you're going to get bigger and more aggressive like you're talking about, we need to change that front bumper and go with something like this.
Now, this has a nice aggressive look. It's kind of stubby. It's got all the clearance we need for the big wheels and tires. And I like this wrinkle finish, man. That's a nice powder coat finish on this thing.
I like that. I like the light built in right there. You can put the winch right here, you know, moving forward if they want to do that. But you know what's cool is when you look at a Jeep with the stubby bumper from the front, like if you're 10 or 20 feet in front of it and you're looking back, all you see is the Jeep and like the tires. You don't have, the tires aren't being cut in half by that bumper.
All right, let's get it on.
Here, it's crooked, bro. We got to straighten it. Look, no, it doesn't go on like this. Okay, so back here at the table, we're ready to try this again. I took the bull bar off.
Bull bar's off, and now we should have no issues.
We should
Or at least no excuses.
It should just gingerly slide into place.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right?
It's a little lighter. That's nice. Maybe we should have looked at instructions.
Come on. Who needs those?
I don't even know if it came with that.
You got to download instructions these days.
Gingerly. Oh, I just got gingerly
Look
put
at
into
that.
place, dude.
Huh?
That's so much easier
It really is.
than like 2 minutes ago.
Matt and Bruno have done a lot of work in this 1988 Jeep Comanche, and now it's time for a new paint job. The guys have blasted away all the old paint and surface rust for a clean start. All of that prep work deserves a clean painting environment, so their next step is setting up their mobile paint booth from Mobile Environmental Solutions. Setting up the booth only takes a matter of minutes, so they can get to work on this project faster. And it can be set up anywhere, even outdoors, so it won't take up valuable shop space. First, the guys will lay down an epoxy primer. When using epoxy, it's extremely important to keep your workspace well ventilated. The booth's cross-flow positive pressure design allows for excellent airflow for a safe, clean priming process. With the epoxy primer coat finished and prep work done, the next step is a coat of filler primer to cover any remaining imperfections. Now that the Comanche is primed and sanded, the mobile paint booth can be quickly taken down and stowed away until it's time to paint. This tech tip is brought to you by Mobile Environmental Solutions, American-made commercial-quality mobile paint booths.
Welcome back to Truck U. So, Bruno, I know you're still on the fence about where you want to go with this Jeep.
Oh, no. I know exactly where I want to go with it, and that's stay right on the road where it belongs.
Okay, well, I'm on the fence about what I want to build this for you to do. Okay, so with
Gotcha.
that being said, I wanted to bring in a lift kit that's going to be a little bit versatile. You know, it'll allow for that comfort on the road, still with that good suspension, but it will be aggressive enough to help us out when we take it off-road, should you take it off-road, which you should.
Now, with the overall lift, we're going up, like 3 to 4 inches?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 inches.
Make sure it's nice and level. But you've got these sway bar links. Now, here's the one we've got from the factory, and here's the one we're putting on. That gives you some kind of perspective as to how much this truck is actually going to go up in the air. Now, with that comes with the geometry starts to change when you start getting these trucks up. Well, this right here, the track bar, is fully adjustable, so it gives us the opportunity of tuning things in, keeping that geometry in line so you don't get that death wobble or any other kind of steering issues pop into play.
So another thing that's going to keep that geometry close to what it was are these relocation brackets for the lower arms, because those that are in there now are going to get reused. But obviously, if you didn't move those around, those things would be like this, and that is not good. So this will help relocate those and keep that geometry you were talking about as close to stock as possible. So this should work real good for what we want to do with this, and you'll be ready to take it off-road. Bruno got the suspension out of the way. We went ahead and disconnected the lower arm, and we're just going to hang that down there out of the way. And we took the top one, the upper arm, out of the way. You didn't really have to do that, but it just makes it a little bit easier to work. So here's what I'm talking about with this relocation bracket that's going to help keep the geometry the same. So it's going to stand, it's going to lock in basically about like that, right? So got the collar piece through, right? Then we come back over here, and it's got this little captured nut on the end of this little tab. So that will catch that. I didn't even have to call Bruno for any assistance on that. So there you go. Now the bracket is in place, and our upper arm will go into one of these 3 holes. So it's kind of a universal bracket, for lack of a better term, in that it all depends on which particular lift and which model Jeep you have, right? So if we have a non-Rubicon 3.5-inch lift, if we're going by the books, tells us to use this upper hole there for the upper arm. So this is looking good, and we can move on.
So you're in a situation where you're doing a suspension lift, you need to compensate for that lift in terms of the brake lines. So rather than replacing the factory rubber brake lines with a single braided line like this, we decided, you know what, we're going to upgrade it with Crown Performance stainless steel brake lines like we often do. Now, they come in a variety of different colors you can see right here, but the magic comes in how strong these lines are thanks to the 5-layer design. So you've got Teflon, you've got Kevlar, stainless steel, all that goodness meshed into one single line, which is going to help you in overall braking feel. So when you get in situations you've got to do heavy-duty braking, you really get on that pedal, a situation occurs called volumetric expansion. That's basically, we get a little bulge in the brake line. You lose that feel of that pedal. Because these are so strong in the 5-layer design, that volumetric expansion is completely removed, so you have a solid braking feel each and every time you go for the brakes. So we've got our new brake lines made up. They did that for us. They meet and exceed all DOT specs. Now we just got to get these bad boys on this truck.
This is Dustless Blasting's DB500 Mobile S, and I gotta tell you, this has saved us a lot of time and a lot of effort around the garage.
Yeah, Matt, we've used it on entire trucks, truck beds, and even axles. But even though we've used it for automotive purposes, the application possibilities are endless.
The unit is fully self-contained on a trailer, and it provides everything that you need for the job. A 20-gallon water tank, a 185 CFM compressor, the blast pot, and even a 100-foot blast hose.
The DB500 allows you to adjust the pressure from 30 to 150 psi for different surfaces and applications. You can also simply adjust your standoff distance to change the spray pattern to blast away layers of paint and stubborn spots of rust.
They also sell the paint guns too, which you can add to the system, because you've got the compressor where you can run all the air tools. And a lot of times we talk about the fact that, you know, you want to strip all the paint off of everything and you don't want it to rust, so you want to get some primer on there quick. Now you can. If you're sick of your truck shutting down every time you pull up to the stop sign, well, now you can put an end to that problem for good with the Auto Stop Eliminator from TRL Automotive.
The device remembers and automatically restores your last setting for auto start or stop, so you don't have to manually disable the system each time you get into your truck. The install is easy and is 100% plug and play.
It's available for many makes and models on the road that have that start-stop feature, and once you have it installed in the truck, it'll never turn off again when you stop unless you want it to.
Why would you want it to? I hate when my vehicle shuts off for no reason.
It installs differently depending on your vehicle. On some of them, it goes right into your diagnostic port. You simply plug it in, and on some other vehicles, you just wire it in right behind the switch. Either way, it's quick and easy.
Get yourself an Auto Stop Eliminator. It's quick, easy, and your starter will thank you.
To do to the JL, and I've got one last chance to try to talk Bruno into taking this Jeep through the mud. Wavering a bit as to what you really want to do with this Jeep. So I'm giving you options, much like I did with the suspension. I want you to be able to take it on and off the road. Same thing with this tire. Now, if you do go to the mall, see a lot of people do, a lot of the Jeeps are going to be on 35s. You're going to be on 37s.
Yeah, buddy, that's
right.
I like bringing it up a notch.
Absolutely, dude. And I know you want to keep it clean, so I'm hooking you up with these no-drill mud flaps from WeatherTech.
You know, what's nice about these mud flaps, just like everything from WeatherTech, it's laser measured specifically to fit the vehicle, man. So when you bolt these things on, it looks like it's part of the vehicle, like you got it from OEM, not an aftermarket or afterthought. You know, it fits the contour of the Jeep, man. It looks like it's part of it, like it should be there. And the nice thing, too, is the fact that it's actually going to give you some protection against mud and dirt and debris slinging up from these big tires and scratching and denting up the doors and the rocker panels.
So they give you the new hardware, and you could probably do the fronts and the rears in minutes, dude.
Love it.
Yeah. So, Bruno, I'm digging this. It's just about ready to go out, but I like the lift. I like the tires, right?
You know, it feels nice sitting high like this, kind of looking down on everybody else.
Sure.
You see that grill coming at them, they know that we mean business, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. You're like Picasso on the grill up there. Big bumper, too. I like that.
Yeah, man. And the fender flares, you know what I mean? The lift itself, I think just overall stance and the way this thing's going to drive is what I think is going to be a huge bonus.
And you got it tuned up, so this thing is ready. So let me tell you, right? So you put it in the mud. You still got the shirt. I like how
Oh,
you're
yeah.
hanging
Dude,
it.
I'm loving this shirt.
this
I just wish it was for adults.
No. It doesn't matter. You
They
just
got to make them for full-size humans.
squeeze it on like you did now. And look, all your friends are over there on the sideline. Do you running through the mud hole? Woohoo! Finger in the air.
Or driving through the mall. You get the same
No.
effect.
You're gonna
people
do
are still
this.
clapping and cheering.
You're not going to do this.
Dude, you
in the
roll up
mall.
on some shopping carts and just handle your business.
There's no
That's
this.
what I like to do.
Uh,
And then you don't have to wash it afterwards.
all right. Well, let's take it somewhere.
All right, let's go
get
out.
it out
Yeah,
of here.
I'm ready.
All right. We'll see y'all
Be
next
careful when you
week.
step on that throttle, buddy.
I know.